Hello and welcome to Zwift number 21 of my videos. This is the stage 2 flat is fast beach island loop, two laps around that route, 25.8 kilometre race, 98 metres of incline. I'm quite far back in the pen and it's going to be a tough old start. As always on Zwift, I'm in the category D of the race score categories and it's going to be interesting. So you can see now, just half a kilometre into the race, that the group's quite stretched, and as we're working up the hill I'm starting to think what's going on. I've dropped down about 40 places from about 70th and I'm thinking, have I got a puncture? Have I got low air pressure in my back tyre? Because I don't seem to be making any progress on the rest of the riders and it's just getting harder and harder and harder. But then I look across at my average watts and I see that now I'm on 270 average watts. And I'm thinking that's really good and that's a real good effort from me. So perhaps I'm just comparing myself with the other riders going away from me all the time, and despite that I'm doing all right.
Right on.
So just 2k into the race and you can see that the groups are well and truly split. We're about 5-6 seconds, 7 seconds actually, as we go into the volcano behind the group in front. But the group in front are just starting to split into two other groups. So I'm in a group of about 15 and we're placed around the 110 to 120th position. And then there's a group of about 30 riders in the second group, and then the front group there's around about 70 riders there, and yeah, I'm in my little mini race now. So 4k into the race, and this is the first time where we get a few comments coming up. Hans van Dijk had a lot to say for himself during the race, and he's commenting here about how they've been able to drop 100 riders from the race. Didn't get a really positive reaction. A few people were messaging back, and there was question marks over some people being out of category, which I could question. I haven't looked thoroughly at the race results yet to see what sort of watts people were putting out, but yeah, it didn't certainly have the right reaction from some people. So just under the arch there, coming into the Italian villa, and we've got a little bit of a incline coming up which could potentially split the group. I decided to stay in my lowest gear possible, don't increase my cadence this time round, but push hard. You can see I'm up over 400 watts there for a split second, and I can carry on pushing up here. I don't mind this slight hill that we go up here. I feel as though I've got enough power to get up and over the top, and usually this has a positive impact on my race position or any gaps or anything like that. You can see how the group that I was in have stretched out and I'm at the front of them. I ease off now back under 200 watts and allow the group to form around me and then take advantage of their draft. So just as we get to the highest point in the race, M. Hepton makes a push for it over the top on this downhill, and we start catching a few stragglers. L. Sorensen and K. Bengston are just ahead, and our group's slightly stretched out, but I work hard to try and catch up with the others, get in the draft of some of the other riders, and as we go around through these hairpin bends, we start to form again, and the group is slightly increased in size due to Sorensen and Hepton joining into our group. So at this point I make an attempt to just view through some of the other riders in the group and trying to get a picture of who's going well at the front, seeing how Mr. Van Dijk is doing. I don't actually get a spot on him, so I come back to my group and find I've actually been distanced due to lack of concentration. So I have to work hard and just put in a bit of a spurt here just to join back up onto my group here, and I actually end up going through the front of our group there. So I don't know what happened at this point, but I ended up getting slightly dropped again, and I have to work hard again to try and catch hold of the rest of my group, because as soon as you get a few seconds behind, that draft effect completely disappears and you're working extremely hard and have to work very hard to get back up with the group that you might have been riding with. So managed to do that and got back with the group again, and we're working quite well here. Not necessarily noticing who's taking a lead in the group, but yeah, nobody's dropping off. And we fast forward now, go forward to 12.9. We're one lap into the race. We've got this hill to come in front of us, and all we have in front of us really is just the odd straggler. But I'm going to work hard up this hill and see how that impacts on the rest of the group, and see if I can stretch out in front. But really it's that situation where I'm just trying to stay in the draft of the other riders. So just zooming through some of the other riders here, just to show you the sort of gaps that are between all the rest of the groups. But there's a few stragglers, there's a lot of various different people riding on their own, or in small groups of 2 or 3. But up at the front, there's around 70 riders, and right at the front of that group, we see Mr. H. Van Dyke. There he is, just riding through. I scroll back to myself because I'm conscious of my position, and you can see I'm having to put an effort in of 500 watts to try and catch up with the group that I've been riding with. So I'm wasting a bit of energy here just because of the video content and the scrolling through the groups. But I do catch back hold of them and reform with my group that I'm in, and there's about 10 of us now, I think there is. So just jump forward a few kilometres back into the Italian villa, back up that hill again. This time I choose a different option because I'm starting to get tired and my legs are getting a bit leggy. So I increase my cadence. You'll see that it's just jumped up into the 90s. Normally I'm riding about 70. I'm still able to put out a good wattage, but the cadence is different this time. I've dropped down a few gears and just pushing a nice strong cadence, and again leading my group up over the top. You can see that we've stretched out. You can see that I'm, well, predominantly one of the first over the top, and as we get to the top I just ease off gently again, allow the rest of the group to come through. I then take advantage of their draft and we're able to carry on working forward towards the end. We're inside the last 7 kilometres now, and it's going to be hard work towards the end. I am feeling a bit tired. My average watch is down to 225, which is below where I'd expect it to be. So jump forward again, 4.5 kilometres to go. We're picking up the odd straggler. I attempt to make an effort of filming everybody else going forward to see how everybody else is getting on. And at this point I can see that a Vujinovic is out in front by a good 12 seconds, I think he is, and then he's followed by Klingelhofer. Here they are, here right in the front. So back to myself though, in my group, just catching hold of the end of the group. We've got 2.1 kilometres to go, and I'm thinking about some of the Peter Finch videos of golf that I've watched and how they're always talking about YouTube content. So what I decided to do is go for a burst with 1.7 kilometres, see if I can get a bit of YouTube content here, pushing up over the top of this hill, trying to distance myself from the rest of the group. So all the time I'm riding up this hill, I'm watching the mini map to see if I'm distancing myself, pushing 500 watts, which is positive for me, and I can see that there is a bit of a gap. I can see on the times that there's a 1 second lead between myself and all the other riders, and I'm hoping actually that I can push ahead, but no, my legs are like lead now, and the rest of the group who I was following are actually come through, and I'm trying to hold on to that rest of that group now. So we're coming up to the final kilometre. I've actually got nobody behind me, right up behind me. I've distanced myself by 5 seconds by a couple of riders, and I'm trying to chase down the ones in front of me, but I choose to zip forward and scroll forward and try and get some footage of other people coming over the finish line. So here's R. Passman coming over the finish line. I have to scroll back to myself though, and I finish 105th. I had a view at one point of coming around about in the top 100, but that didn't materialise. But we were picking off more and more riders, but not my strongest ride. It says they're averaging 220 watts, which I find out later is around about, well, it is 2.5 watts, and I can do better than that. I've been riding around about 2.7, 2.8 watts per race. And then I'll quickly show you some of the race positions. I'll only show you the top few this time. Sometimes I've shown you the whole of them, but with there being 160 riders, I will just go through the top few riders and just have a comparison between their power and my power. So here we have the final results for Grinchich, 296 watts, 3.6 watts per kilogram, just a light rider, light in weight. Then Van Opstal, he came second, 2.8 average watts. Moilbake, 2.9, we can compete with that, and 2.8 on a better day I could have competed with that. But yeah, it was a good ride. You might be able to see your name in there. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.